Usine katana na na tishikitiana na fatomana katiti itiene na arafatomana kashikata and takiti sikitiana nene etofuna manana tata atakasata damino batakishitu skutati isiniana nene fatomana arafatomana kashtatana naftati istitikitiana na arafatomana katata ashtatana marakutati atata fatomana kashikata eniana ta fatomana kachititiana. Aloha friends, this is Shamansi. Welcome to the Moon Day Messages. Alright, we're going to start with a little channeling that wants to come through. Usanata fatamanakashtatitiskitianana fatamanakashtuktumanantitianene arafatamankashtatanata fatamananatititiskitianana fatamanana arafatamankashtatatatatatuskitumanatitini inikata fatamanatititishkitana utatofunamanakatatatata unanchkitanene mantakata istiskitana afatamanakatatatashkatana. Alrighty, so lots of joy. You know, they said that July was gonna be the month where everything changed and we started to shift into the new, and that's definitely happening, but there is still some purging that is going on. Okay, so purging that came up throughout the past few days with clients, with self, with other light workers that I'm connected with, is a purging through fearlessness. So letting go of all fear that we carry in our body, all fear that we carry, that we've carried throughout our ancestry, throughout our ancient ancestry. And what I mean by that is our soul's ancestry. All of the fear and the things that I'm hearing things that we did to others in past lifetimes and things that others did to us that are all coming through right now to be cleansed. So be patient with yourself. If you are tired, rest. If you can, get out into some natural waters. It'll be really healing and grounding for you is what I'm hearing. And allow yourself to actually move through this. I had so many messages in the past few days about, and this was with client sessions, about moving the hips, rocking the hips side to side, moving them, doing a figure 8 with the hips, whatever it is, moving the hips, because there is a lot of sacral energy that is being shifted right now. So it's like we've been in this space of birthing something new. Maybe for you, it's a new relationship. Maybe it's a new home. Maybe it's new babies coming in. It could be a new career, a new, just a new vision, they're telling me, a new creation, like passion project. And it's been in this space of like the point of creation, the void, some would say. And in that space, it feels like little tiny baby steps forward, and then like the fall and the weight to get back up again. And it's because there's so much that is shifting through us collectively. And those of you that are listening, I'm hearing, have a heightened sense. Like you are able to pick up on things that others can't pick up on. You are aware of things before others become aware of them. You just have a very heightened sense of intuition. We did just go through, thank you, they're reminding me there was a portal that we just moved through to activate and upgrade the pineal gland. So that's here in our third eye space. It's the, oh man, why can't I think of it right now? Okay, they're like, it's not important. But activating through this space so that we can come online completely. And what that means is we can completely tap out of the logic and the order and the having to make sense of things, and we can fully step into trusting and knowing and being in the energy of surrender, complete surrender. And they're telling me that some of you are still experiencing the need for surrender. And this may feel like this comes sometimes through what feels like tests. You know, it feels like everything's going good and we're getting on the right track and things are moving forward. And then all of a sudden there's silence, or there's darkness, there's anger, or there's sadness, there's things that are coming up to be let go of. And so they're saying breathe through it. If you want to get through it faster, use your breath. I've been asking Spirit for the past few days, how do I move through this quicker? How do my clients push through this faster? And they keep bringing me back to the breath, the life force energy. Breath and sun codes, they're telling me, get out in the sun. 15-20 minutes is all it takes. Even like sun gazing in the evening as the sun is setting would be really great. And then also being out underneath the stars. The stars are super activating right now, and there is so much cosmic energy coming in that there are, this came through, thank you for the reminder, Spirit. I talked with some clients the other night about getting out underneath the night sky and going for a night walk or a solo night walk underneath the stars. And while all these cosmic energies are moving above us, we are actually getting upgrades through the body, through the cellular system, through the musculoskeletal systems. So our bodies are literally upgrading to these higher frequencies. And that's why they're saying rest when you can rest. Make sure that you're staying hydrated and nourished. Even, you know, perhaps this was something that came through for me recently, and it's really helped me out, is shopping intuitively. So instead of, you know, going to the grocery store with a list of all the regulars that you get, maybe go to the grocery store and just say, I'm open. What does my body need to move through these energies? And you might be surprised. I did the same thing a few days ago. I went to the store and I didn't even, like it didn't come to mind when I was there, but I had already set the intention that I'm open. Bring me whatever I need. And my shopping list was very different than it normally is. And it's been nice to see my body adjust to these things and open up to things that I never thought I would want or need. And just experiencing nutrition in new ways. So perhaps open up to that. Yes, they keep bringing me back to the breath, y'all. The breath is so important because what's clearing out in the sacral and the throat chakra are one and the same. Like they're telling me literally, I've tried to explain this a few different times, and they say the best way for me to explain it is they are one and the same. So when we are embodying our creative power, when we are one with the divine, we are able to speak truth into that. We are able to speak wisdom through and to others. And so there's a connection between the two that really needs to take place. So if you feel like, you know, you're super creative, but still things are stagnant, work on the throat chakra, work on getting it out. Being seen, being heard, being your authentic self. And then if you are feeling like you actually do speak your truth, you're feeling more authentic, you're feeling like you're allowing yourself to be seen, then definitely work on the sacral chakra and purging emotion, letting go of things that aren't in resonance anymore. And you know, I had some clients this past weekend that talked about, you know, there were some really horrible things that happened in their past, and they just said, you know, how do I let go of those things? And what came through for me, and I did this with my own healing, is I said, when you forgive someone, what you're actually doing is you're giving them that energy back. You're giving them their energy back. So maybe they did something terrible to you and you've had to process and work through it. And obviously the way my structure of knowing is that it happened for us, not to us. And believe me, I know there are some horrible things. I've had some crazy, horrible experiences myself. And the one way that I got through it in the beginning when I started to work on forgiveness was giving them their energy back. You know, you did this horrible thing to me and I've been living with it my entire life, and I've been carrying it and processing through it and holding on to it. And now it's time for me to gift it back to you. Take the shit that you did to me, that you gave to me. Here you go. And you deal with it now. You deal with whatever shame or guilt or whatever comes up through that space. It's for them to deal with, not you. So they're saying it's time to let go of those things. And as we continue to give these energy pieces back to the people that hurt us, back to the spaces or places or things that shifted our vibration, not only does it purge it from us and allow us to rise up in a higher vibration, but it also gives them back what they need to process and move through their own shit, right? I saw something today and I put it in I have a playlist called Knowledge is Power. So if you feel called, you can look through that on this page, on the Shamanzi page. And I put it in there, and it was talking about how to give the energy back to a narcissist. And they use this example of somebody saying, you know, I need you to work for me this weekend. And they said, oh, I really can't. You know, I expect to have my weekends off. It's my time with my family. I may be like adding more to this, they're telling me, but to get the point across. And they say, well, you know, if you don't do this, I'm going to have to work late nights and I'm going to have to do this and that. And what they're doing is putting guilt onto you, right? So what this person did is he said, you know, I feel like you're trying to make me feel guilty for not taking on this extra time. And I know that you're a good person and you have a good heart and you really wouldn't want me to feel that way. So, you know, how can we work through this? And it shifts that energy almost immediately back to that person. So I thought that was fascinating. And that is something that Spirit wanted to bring through for you all. As you know, Spirit brings me messages in so many different ways. And, and they're telling me to tell about the Telegram. So I feel like there are people who want to be joining this. So I get messages from Spirit through passersby, through just really random spaces. But one of my mediums through Spirit is through YouTube. It started when I first started my journey, and it was a space that I trusted. And so Spirit brings me these gems, really gems. They're not something that I go looking for. It's something that Spirit will bring to me and tell me exactly what to type in, and I'll do it. And then I always get these amazing practitioners that do everything from like sound healing to light language to like soul contract healing. And I share those in a Telegram group that I started with my husband. It's called Radiant Love Vibrations. I will link it in the description for those of you that are interested. It's usually not any of my own work, but it's things that Spirit brought to me to share with the collective. Like, these are gems that people should be using if they want to ascend, if they want to heal, let go, move forward, those kind of things. So anyhow, I put that in there. The last few weeks they've been wanting me to add that, and I keep forgetting. So thank you, Spirit, for bringing that back in. Okay, and then moving into the new week. So what's to come with this new energy? Okay, there's some darkness that's moving through right now. There's a lot of, they're showing me like a lot of chatter, a lot of things that are like being said and being broadcasted for people to stay in a lower level of consciousness. Now, we know this throughout time. This has happened where, you know, the programming that has happened where they do this. However, right now it's getting louder and louder because of the shift, because there's so many people who have woken up that are on this journey, that are shifting out of all of the dense lower energy so we can move into new earth and ancient new earth. Thank you. And what they want me to say with this is a lot of what is coming up through the end of the week is deep emotions. So what I mean by that is, you know, typically I remember seeing like this iceberg of emotions, and up top it was like anger and frustration and irritability, and it just kept going lower and lower until finally deep down underneath it all was sadness. So at some point somebody made you really sad, you held that in, and it continued to build up and build up and build up and build up. Well, at the very top of this peak is resentment, and this is coming through heavily this week. So any energy that you've held onto that has caused you to resent something is energy that is asking to be cleared this week. It's coming up to be purged. It's time to let go. And also they're saying the whole not seeing is not believing that we talked about a few weeks back. They want me to bring that back in, because they're saying part of the resentment is seeing or understanding things with the mind as opposed to feeling it with the heart. So can you give me an example, Spirit, that will help them navigate through this? Yeah, they're just saying there are things that happen that they can, I mean, especially now, right? AI it's out there. Like, people are using it, and it can be used as a tool, and a lot of us like workers came back so that we can shift it, and it's not used for, you know, the negative, the low vibe energy, the control. So with that being said, they're saying a lot of scams are popping up. I think my husband just sent me this the other day where, you know, they're taking like videos and taking your voice off of them, or like calls, you know, you call somewhere and you get that automated line and you say your name and you talk to the automations, and they're taking your voice, and the hackers, the scammers are using those to reach out to loved ones and say, oh, so-and-so has been hurt, or so-and-so has been in an accident and they're in jail and we need X amount of money. And so there are scams like that are happening. And so they're just saying, and they're just using that as an example. That's just like a small example of what's happening. There's so much more that can happen with AI. And when you really think about it, think about how advanced media has gotten. I feel like we always know a whole lot less than what's actually, like, where it actually is. And so they're bringing that up because they're like, stop. We've got to learn. Thank you, Spirit. We to continue to ascend, we need to learn to shut all this down, to shut out the mind, to shut out the eyes, and to completely just feel what it is. What do I feel with my heart? Also, even through videos or through being in person with people. There are many videos that I've watched that I don't feel any kind of energy through. You should be able to feel my energy through this screen. So this is something that's coming up. If you're seeing something and it's putting you into fear, where's that feeling coming from? Is it an algorithm that's getting into your brain, or is it coming from your heart space? This is something that you need to tap out of, that you don't need to witness. But they're saying like this, they're bringing up these pieces because I feel like there is a lot of deceit that's rising right now. And then, okay, they have me kind of jumping all over, so my apologies. They are saying that there's a lot of energy moving through, so they are clearing and will help you understand anything that may come through a little jumbled. They want to channel to connect. Okay, I'm hearing protect your crown. Protect your crown. So whether that means, wearing something over your third eye, wearing something over your head, or just putting an energetic shield over your head. I like to use the element of wind, so I use like a little tornado up and around myself to protect myself. But they're really saying protect your crown because there are little... The energy they're giving me is like it's a program. Thank you. It's a program that is coming in to try to keep the consciousness level down, and we're past that, y'all. So they're saying don't believe what you see, don't believe what you hear. Tap into your heart. What are you feeling? And then back to the resentment. Thank you, Spirit. I'm like, when are we going back? Back to the resentment. If we want to move into ancient New Earth, right? Into the utopia space where everything is great, that means that we have to let go of lower vibrational energies. And that means that as other people continue to rise as well, we need to let go of their old self. Right? So I feel like a lot of us that have been on this path, we've been through possibly many dark nights of the soul. We've transitioned so much, especially in the past 4 years. There's been a lot of transition collectively and so many quantum leaps that they're saying, if you expect people to see you in a new light, to see you as the new upgraded version of self that has shifted out of all those lower vibrations, then you also need to see those people in that same light, right? Maybe they're not right. Maybe you're here and they're still here, and that's okay. They're saying allow them to be on their journey and also witness their growth, because if you're here and they're here, at one point they were here and maybe you were here. Right? Or vice versa. So they're saying allow people to be on that journey, and as they continue to rise, let shit go. Let it go. It's not important, those things. That's why we're learning to process through emotions, so that if something comes up and I'm sad about it, I'm not swallowing down the truth. I'm not hiding my sadness. I'm not pulling back my tears. I am letting myself be sad in that moment, getting that energy out, letting it move through me, and then continuing on with my life so that I don't have to get to anger and frustration and irritation and then flipped into guilt and shame and all the other things. So feel through whatever it is in the moment that comes up and speak. They're saying like that's part of what's happening with the throat clearing right now for the collective, is speaking your truth, being your authentic self, but so much so that you can, if something bothers you, instead of biting your tongue or swallowing your words or getting yourself out of the situation, you're actually speaking up from a place of love. You're speaking up from your heart space, not out of fear, not out of frustration or anger, but out of love from the heart space. So asking someone to hold space for you while you talk, asking someone to clarify something. A lot of miscommunication is just clarity that we don't have in that moment. So asking them, what did you mean by this? Or here's how I took it. Let me know if I understood you correctly. Having that balance and being able to speak through it is really going to help out. Okay, I feel like there's a lot of energy moving through here. They said, yes, we're clearing, we're clearing. Thank you so much, guides, for coming in and clearing for those that are listening. And I said us, because I always go back and listen to it as well. So, okay, what else wants to come through? Oh, they're showing me like, okay, like they're literally, this is not, this is channeled. This moving my hands is channeled. So, okay, I feel like, yeah, it's like, they're like, wash your hands of it. Wash your hands of it. Whatever was done is done. It's not for us to go back and change, but for us to rise above it and let it go. There's a book that I'm reading right now. It's called Radical Forgiveness. I will put that in the description as well. It's an amazing book. I've done a lot of forgiving, and I thought that I was at the space where I didn't need to forgive certain people anymore. And this book is shifting a whole lot for me, so I highly recommend it. Okay, what else do we, yeah, again with the hands. Thank you, Spirit. I guess we are cleansing. Yes, the space of give and receive, they're telling me, the give and receive. So when we get into this flow space, it is an equal amount of what I give, I receive back. And if you are in a space where you feel like, oh, I've given so much of myself to someone or something, or for example, like for me with one of the corporations that I worked with, you know, I felt like I had given so much of my time, my energy, my love, my heart, my soul. I put so much into that business. And when I had to walk away from it, it was devastating for me. And I kept wanting the payback. Like, oh, I want them to fail, or I had resentment. I had so much resentment and anger towards them. And, you know, when I finally shifted through that and I just gave them their energy back, here, you know, this is what you did for me. You created resilience and strength in spaces where I didn't think I had it. You brought things to my attention that I wasn't aware of. You made me more aware of self and what I was doing to either protect or harm myself. And I learned so many lessons through it. And I'm finally in this space where I'm like, you know, here you go. It's yours. Take it back. Take all that energy back. And I intend well. I have no hard feelings. I intend well. I want well for everyone, and literally everyone. I know that there are some dark things that are rising right now, and I just continue to send love to those spaces because we are rising together in unity. We are coming together. Okay, unity and collaboration. Thank you, Spirit. They're saying unity and collaboration are going to be very important to bring this ancient new earth into wholeness. Thank you. Wholeness. And they keep, for the past week, I've been using this mudra. I don't remember what it's called. I have it written in my notes somewhere. But it is just this sphere that I'm creating with my fingers. And this is the wholeness mudra. And I remember when I was really working on my self-worth and shifting out of the alcoholism, this is the mudra that I used all the time. And I would just hold it in front of my stomach, my solar plexus area. And I would just stay in this position, and it shifts so much through the body. So highly recommend using mudras. And I feel like this is happening right now because we are coming back into wholeness. We are coming back into unity, into community, into collaboration, into rising together as one, not separating. The times of being separated and, you know, going into our own little homes and having our own little lives is shifting. Now it's coming back to community and family. And, you know, maybe you're like me and you've had a lot of family trauma or drama or whatever you want to call it. And you're like, I don't know if I'm going to have that. I can tell you that part of this ascension is bringing that in. It's bringing us back together as one. Okay, so find a community is what I'm hearing. Find a community. And if you can't find a community, maybe create your own. Think about what you're doing or what you enjoy, and then see what you can cultivate and bring into that space, right? They're bringing me this to mind. I have a really good friend who is has like the loveliest little dog, and they are such a union. It's such a sweet connection to see between the two of them. And you know, bringing in other community members that have dogs and actually enjoy being around dogs, and are in a higher level of consciousness and not in it's not stuck in the third, you know, 3D paradigm, and cultivating like this. So this, I'm bringing this up because they're saying like this can be a community, bringing in a community of people who just like to get out and go for hikes or be in nature. I saw something, they're bringing this back to me long ago. I had got on this app called Meetup, just to see what was going on around me in my neighborhood. And there were so many unique things. And there was one that was like foraging in the canyons. Like you can go walk around the canyons and learn how to forage herbs and plants so you can make, you know, tinctures and recipes at home. And you know, there was one that was like walking on the beach. I just enjoy walking on the beach. I actually went to one that was on Christmas Day many moons ago, and it was just meeting up for a movie on Christmas Day because I didn't have any family or friends where I was. And so I just wanted to be in community. And you know, we met there. It was a group of women. We all met, we got, you know, whatever we wanted, snacks or drinks, walked in, watched the movie, all sat together, and we didn't even like communicate, talk, be in that space. But having like the comfort of being there in community was so important to me at that time. It really helped me move through some things. So, also, thank you, Spirit. Physical touch, right? They're saying, and there are so many of us that are not getting enough physical touch. So, and this has happened, oh my goodness, for like the past 4 weeks with new clients. I've literally taken new clients and held their hands while I was channeling for them. Not because it helps me channel any better, it doesn't do any of that, but because they just need to be felt. They just need to be held. They just need to be loved and show that they're not alone, and that, you know, this is real. Like, feel into it and enjoy this experience, this being in the body. Okay, there's so many other things that are coming in, so I'm trying to like quickly move through them. Okay, so they're like back to the purging. They're telling me that some of you have some purging that needs to happen through objects. So look around your home, see if there's anything in there that reminds you of a time that wasn't so great. If it does, give it love and send it on. Give it to a new owner, sell it, get rid of it, whatever you have to do, let it go, right? Because objects hold energy. So if you're feeling like, I'll tell you, like some of the times when I feel exhausted and overwhelmed and I'm like, I can't be bothered to clean right now. If I don't, you know, occasionally just push through that, it gets to the point where, and mind you, I'm not a messy person. I'm probably, I mean, I've heard from others that I'm cleaner than most. Like I have this indoctrination from my childhood about like coming over and doing like this white glove test and making sure your house is spotless. So for me, dirty is probably not the same for most people. However, when it gets to that space, because I'm so highly sensitive, any energy that comes in or energy that I'm feeling through attaches to these things, and then it just continues to build. And this is the same for you. This is the same for even if you're not sensitive. This is the same. If you are surrounded by things, you are surrounded by energies. So they're saying some of you have objects that need to be purged, need to be let go of. Now, also they're showing me like a phone and going through your contacts or your text messages. Okay, so they're saying text messages specifically, and seeing what old text messages you have on there. If you have text messages that were in a lower vibration, that were with people that are no longer in your life, whatever it may be, delete them, let them go, let them go. I feel like this week, moving through this week is going to be like this great purge. And thank you. They're telling me it's because we're moving through the Lionsgate portal, and by 8/8, things are going to completely shift. And so any last remnants that are coming through, it's like, and you know, these are stuff that like we've held on to for not just this lifetime. This is stuff that we've held on to throughout our soul's history. So, I am going to link in the description one of the videos that I put in the Telegram group a long while ago, but it's by one of my favorite practitioners on YouTube, and it will clear so much out of the body and out of different energies that are coming through that are not yours. And so I'm going to link that. The practitioner, his name is Wolfgang, and it's Tools for Ascension is his channel, so I will link that as well. Okay, what else do we have, Spirit? Okay, they're telling me that's it. They want me to go over the card that was pulled. So I wasn't planning on sharing this new deck that I got because I've been called to work more with the goddess, and I've been reading this book about, I think it's called The Goddess actually. And y'all, I've had this book for like over a year, but there are activations and transmissions in this book that I am called to them at certain times, and lately I've been called back to them. And so I really was feeling that goddess energy coming through. It's the rise of the feminine, which I will do a little side note on that at the end. Bring that back for me, Spirit, please. Anyhow, I came across this deck. It had been calling me for many, many months, and I wasn't going to share it with the collective. I wanted to keep it for self and work through a lot of the processes. But Spirit, I mean, this literally like fell off of my table today. It was like, it's time, share it. So this is the Awaken the Goddess Within. Hopefully you can see that. And the goddess that came out for this week is, hopefully I'm pronouncing this correctly, but it's Inanna, and it says Invincible Spirit. So check her out there. And I'm gonna just read a little bit of what came through for her, because I feel like it's really relevant with all of the darkness that's rising and just all of the shit that we're moving through right now. So it says, celebrated for her boldness and divine sovereignty. She is depicted with symbols of her dual nature. Inanna is known for her transformative power, encompassing both sacred sexuality and the cycles of creation and destruction. So if you've been feeling the dark goddesses come through, you are right on track with this ascension. I have been in the dark goddess energy, I feel like, for the past week, where just this sacred rage has been moving and shifting. And then they're telling me it's an enlightened path of self-discovery. It's taking us to, okay, they said just read it. It says, Inanna is also honored as a warrior goddess, representing fearlessness and strategic powers in overcoming life's challenges. So I will tell you, for self, for others that I'm connected with, for clients lately, has felt very challenging. Some of these dark things that are rising through our soul's ancestry are things that we've held on to for so long. So of course we're going to feel the magnitude of it. And they're just saying, allow it to rise. Let it all come up and be purged. And if you need to get into your sacred rage, if you need to scream into a mason jar or go out into, you know, like they're showing me like the middle of a forest and scream to the top of your lungs. If you need to break something, like go to a break room or smash something with a hammer, hit a pillow, like this energy, it wants out. It is ready to shift. So get it moving through you. If you are in an area where you can align with a shamanic healer or a Reiki practitioner, it's highly recommended. Just get that energy out. It is up. It is ready to, it's ready to be transmuted and alchemized. So push through that. And then I will also link, they're telling me fearless, I think it's shifting out of fearlessness, something that a good friend of mine put up on her channel recently. So I will link that as well. Okay, hopefully I remember all of this. I'll go back and listen to it again. There is light. There is light is what they're telling me. You saw the light. Hopefully you saw the light come in, but there is light. Everything is shifting, and the more light and bright things get, the more the darkness rises to be purged. So hang in there. I feel like it may be a challenging week. Reach out if you have any questions. And I think that's it for now. Have a fantastic week. Sending you all lots of love. Until next time. Adios.